Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel.
Hello!
This is Lee.
Hello! And this is Scott.
I don't need an introduction.
If you don't know us, we're the Rockin' Scots. Well, welcome to our channel. If you are a returning subscriber or returning viewer, hello! Hope you're well. This is day 2 in Florida.
We're on the road again.
On the road again.
You should watch the
I
road.
can't wait to get on the road again. I don't know if you can see my top, can you?
You keep your eyes forward. So we're heading on the, we're on the
528.
heading east.
We're going to the Space Kennedy Center.
We're going to
Live long and prosper.
we're going to look for some aliens.
Yeah.
So I think you shot the rest of them on that Man in Black yesterday. That was terrible. I think we get 158,000 and I scored 29,000. And the guy next to me bought, because it's like 3 seats. I'm digressing here, but he only had 31,000. He was pressing the red button, by the way. Why was he pressing it?
Don't know.
See, just when he pressed it, the thing started spinning like fuck. I'm like, I thought you fucked the cart, man. Anyway, we're off to the Space Centre. We're talking about, watch yesterday's vlog. If you want to see, just make sure I'm not getting any chocolate on my mouth. I'm munching these milk duds. Oh my. Aeroporto there. I'm nearly 2 minutes of waffling here.
Yeah, well, we'll film a bit of the journey along this 528. We've still got another 45 minutes to go. We're just passing Orlando International Airport. And we will we'll join you when we arrive at the Space Centre.
Go and hunt some aliens.
Live long and prosper.
Folks, so we're just about to head over to this NASA causeway. It looks like a road that goes into the sky, doesn't it? What is that?
Is this going up over a hill?
Is that? Looks like it does. It's like a big ramp. It's a big ramp. So let's take a wee trip over the causeway together, shall we? Big open roads. The van man's that man. White van man. Now that is strange looking, isn't it? What? Are we going over that? It's bizarre looking, isn't it? Zoom into that. Aye. Look at that, that's nice. Sight there, a spacecraft, unidentified.
Flying object.
Yeah. It's at rest now. Don't know how well it's coming up the camera, but I can actually see a fucking shuttle. So guys, it looks like that's us on our final approach to the Space Centre. We're going to grab a shuttle just shortly and we're going to do a few revolutions of the Earth
In a quarter mile,
maybe pop
turn
to the
right
Mint.
onto East Avenue Southwest.
And a wee look, taste the cheese there. There's a ship, there's a thingy there. Said ship.
At the light, turn right onto East Avenue Southwest.
Corvette over there.
Continue for 1 mile.
$15.
Bus to, we need to get the bus there at 2:30 now.
Yeah.
It's in reverse there.
Jesus. It'll be tourist city. Or the Hiles.
Hi, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, 15 for parking only.
Yep, no worries.
All right,
Thank you.
you're welcome. You're gonna park in lot number 5. And the entrance is to the left of the flagpole.
Perfect.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, welcome to NASA Kennedy Space Center.
No firearms with or without a licence, no ammunition. I don't think how that would be dangerous, but you're not allowed to take it in anyway.
T-minus 3 hours.
Right, come on, you rocket. I've never seen so many fucking rockets in one place. Well, actually, come to think it, I have actually.
Rocket Garden. If you join us, you
Fucking rocket garden,
our
alright.
early space history and about the history of the rocket.
Look at the size of that fucking engine, man.
We are meeting at the
I know
front
me.
entrance to the Rocket Garden, and that's what... Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
What's
Welcome
up?
to the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex.
This is
We will be conducting a 15-minute tour of our rocket garden.
Can it
beginning
be?
at 10:15.
Saw the space in there.
About 5 minutes from
The
now.
luggage?
Oh!
Come join us. Learn the history of the rockets in the rocket garden. Learn about our early space history.
Oh, stuff it for
We are
that flight.
meeting at the front entrance
To the moon?
of the rocket garden. And again, that tour will start at 10:15, about 5 minutes from now.
We'll send the helicopters out to get you now. I know it's not. Oh, it's getting awful closer, isn't it? I can't see it on that. Can you see it?
Right.
Right, so how was your trip in space?
Saw a few aliens.
Did you? Did you, aye? Huh. Are you going to leave your wee capsule there? Maybe?
Yeah, just parting it up for the night.
Right, where are we going then?
So we're in the rocket garden where we belong. What's on there?
By a few rockets watching
Number-
this later.
Number 2 is the gate. Number 2 is the gateway. Gateway, the Deep Space Launch Complex and Spaceport. So we'll go in there. We'll go into the gateway behind us. In here.
In there, gateway.
And get a bash. There's toilets in there.
You can't do that, that's illegal. You get a bash. Right, let's go and have a look. Thank God that sun's away a wee bit, man. It's absolutely cooking, mate. Cooking.
So
30 degrees or some shit.
there's another thing for that. Delta 2 by numbers.
You seen this thing?
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be starting our tour of the
Shark's
rocket
teeth.
garden in 2 minutes.
Pale.
2 minutes. This is a 15-minute tour of the rocket garden where you will learn about our early space history and about the history of the rocket.
outside there. Into the cockpit here. Okay, first commander, Panda. I'm not a spaceman. A rocket. Hopefully she doesn't crash at this time. Getting there. The top. Straight to off. That says now.
I parked it successfully. Anyway, on to the next one. There's people waiting.
So we are now sitting in the presence of an astronaut.
A real life astronaut.
And is actually left Earth.
4 times. That's him there.
Test Pilot School, and also the Naval Fighter Weapons School, also known as Top Gun. All told, he's rolled up some 6,000 hours of flight time in 30 different types of aircraft, including the F-4 Phantom and the F/A-18 Super Hornet. He was selected by NASA as an astronaut in 1990, and he's flown on 4 shuttle flights. His first flight, STS-68, was the second flight of the Space Radar Laboratory. His next 2 missions, STS-79 and 89, were docking with the Russian space station Mir. And his 4th flight, STS-106, was a supply mission to the International Space Station. And he is here today to share his remarkable perspective on all this history. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome astronaut Terry Wilkins.
Can you guys hear me in the back? Great. Guys, what I want to talk about today is a little bit about the shuttle program and the shuttle itself. Then I'm going to talk about my particular missions, each of my 4 missions. And then I'm going to show you some things about living in space, and then end up with where we're going next. Okay, the shuttle, the most amazing and versatile spacecraft ever designed and built. It did everything. Some of the things it had were an airlock to do spacewalks out of. It had a robotic arm to grab or deploy satellites. The payload bay you could put a Greyhound bus in there, and it had room enough comfortably for 7, or at one time we flew 8 people in it. When we flew the Russians in the shuttle, they couldn't believe how much room they had. They were amazed at the robotic arm, and frankly the fact that we could do spacewalks out of it too. So the shuttle consisted of 3 main elements, 4 pieces: the orbiter itself, the 2 solid rockets, and the external fuel tank. All that was reusable except for the external fuel tank. You train for your mission, you're assigned for your mission, you train for about a year on average. The longest that we usually gave people was a year and a half. They had some complicated spacewalks to do on your mission. Shortest time ever was 7.5 months for training. But a year was average. You train for a year, most of that training happens in Johnson Space Center, where we all live. Train for a year, then 6 days a week before launch, you go into quarantine. You spend the first part of that quarantine at JSC. 3 days prior to launch, you come down to Kennedy Space Center. In those 3 days, you review any procedures you want to look over one more time before you launch. You get to visit with your family, your immediate family. And then you wake up on launch day, you have breakfast, they take your picture, You go into the suit-up room, you put on your orange launch and entry suit, and then you make your way out to the pad. 3 hours prior to liftoff, they put the crew in the shuttle, close the hatch. The crew does communication checks, make sure you can talk to each other. You do pressurization checks, make sure that your suit is indeed low pressurized. And you talk to the Launch Control Center at KSC and Mission Control Center for flight control. You do all that, then you just wait for the clock to tick down, and 6 seconds prior to liftoff, the 3 main engines light. Those 3 main engines put out 1 million pounds of thrust together. That 6 seconds is used for the onboard computers to check each engine that is working perfectly. If even one engine isn't producing 100% thrust, you'll never make it to orbit. You'll wind up in Spain or France or England or the Atlantic Ocean. So if all 3 engines are working perfectly, then they allow the solid rocket boosters to launch. Those solid rocket boosters put out 5.5 million pounds of thrust together, so your total is 6.5 million pounds of thrust. So what did that feel like when it launched? So you're on your back, sitting in your chair, and it's the equivalent of sitting at a stoplight and having a dump truck run into the back of your car. And you got 6.5 million pounds of thrust instantaneously. You weigh 200 pounds, instantaneously you weigh 500 pounds. The ship shakes like crazy. It shakes so much under all that thrust that if you had to touch a switch, your hand, you'd have to brace it against structure so you could control where your finger went. No human could fly the shuttle in the first 2 minutes while you're under the solid rocket boosters. Just too much acceleration, too much.
There we go, got a wee salad. So I've just came out the... You saw it was nearly an hour, that? What? So we've just done the astronaut thing. Met an astronaut. And it was nearly a full hour. So now you get a wee voucher thing to get food. There's the menus. So I've got $30. But there's like, you can get like a burger for $13.50 a meal.
Yeah. And a drink.
I'm assuming you just pay up the extra if you're key lime pie. So you want to walk down the queue then? Probably just get like a... There's mac and cheese in it. There's all your gear there. Right, let's cut to... We've got the food. So here is a Cuban sandwich. He's got a burger, a cheesy burger. And then we've skimped on the juice. I've just got these things for the diluting juice. So, bon appetit. There we go. That's some big ass iced coffee with extra shot in it. So just
Caramel latte.
just tired all the time out here, man. It's the heat or the jet lag or something, I don't know. But so we're off to the bus now. Got a bus tour thing.
Yeah. So
We'll see you there.
Since the dawn of humankind, we've looked at the stars with wonder and amazement. Their glow guiding our travel for centuries. The more we learn about our universe, the more questions we have.
I'm Emily Calandrelli, and today you'll be following me behind the gates on this exclusive bus tour of Kennedy Space Center. Our journey will take us past active facilities and end at the visitor complex's own Apollo Saturn V center.
But before we begin this journey, just like every NASA mission, our #1 goal is to return home safely. So always stay seated while the bus is in motion. Please, no...
Get up to that location, I'll point, and when we pass the building, you'll get another view of it. Start looking now all the way to your right. And once again to your right.
big budget movie.
Located at the nose end of the Saturn V rocket, you can relive the experience of Neil Armstrong's historic landing and first steps on the moon.
When I was a kid, I used to dream about flying through space. Every week on TV, I'd watch my heroes as they jumped into their rocket ships and took to the stars. And I wanted to be like them. They had courage, imagination, and no problem ever stood in their way for long. You know, in the end, when we actually did send men into space, it turned out that those were exactly the qualities it took.
I'm John Hudson. This is Pad 39 of the Kennedy Space Center. I was a launch controller here when from this very spot, man took off to fly to the moon. It was a journey that began 12 years before that rocket ever left the ground. And it started on the other side of the world.
Our own space program kicked into high gear, and less than 2 months later, we were ready to launch our own satellite. Space race, and we were running a distant second. In 1961, we fell even further behind. Soviet cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin became the first man into space, circling the world in just 89 minutes. We stuck with it, and on May 5th, 1961, things finally started going right. Astronaut Alan Shepard took his ship Freedom 7 6.5 miles into space. America had its first space hero. Just a few days later, our space program received a new challenge.
We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
We hadn't been more than 16 minutes into space, and now we were going to the moon. One day, however, the dream of flying to the moon almost slipped away. It was January 27th, 1967. Astronauts Virgil Gus Grissom, Edward White, and Roger Chaffee were on board Apollo 1 for a plugs-out test, a full-scale dress rehearsal for the actual launch. Suddenly it happened. There was a fire in the capsule. 3 men whose lives had been in our hands were lost across the vast ocean of space. In the great span of our history, now was the time that we could. Now was the time that we would. We stood on the eve of the longest, most dangerous journey that any man had ever undertaken. And it would be taken by Frank Borman, James Lovell, and William Anders, the crew of Apollo 8. Through those doors, you'll find the firing mode, launch control, just as it was on December 21st, 1968.
Please gather entering behind you. Guests with special physical needs, including wheelchairs and hearing disabilities, please be seated in the front row.
At this hour, here at Cape Kennedy, there's still time to go ahead with it. To send 3 men to the moon and back. I'll repeat that. To send 3 men to the moon and back.
You are now in the final minutes before the launch of Apollo 8. Right here, where it actually happened. Mankind is about to leave his planet behind and journey to another. It is one of those rare moments When history is not being made, destiny is being embraced.
This is launch control, T-minus 3 minutes and counting. We've completed our communications checks with the Apollo 8 astronauts in the cabin and the communications star go. And also on. First stage preparations are completed. Seconds and counting. The first stage oxygen tank has been pressurized. 20 seconds, all aspects. We are still roll at this time. T-minus 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. The ignition sequence start. The engines are on. 4, 3,
Holy moly. Look at the size of this thing. Holy shiitake mushrooms. Jesus Christ. So we are currently at the Apollo Saturn V Centre, and this is one of the big ass rockets. Can't even get it in the full screen because it's so friggin' big. Like, it is massive. Jesus. absolutely bonkers how big these things are. Absolutely nuts. Isn't it? It's nuts. This thing's huge. Absolutely massive, man. Nuts. Like, I'm not even at the head of it. And the end's all the way down there. Like, absolute bonkers. How huge this thing is. So far, so good. The trip has been brilliant to hear. So, like, dead factual. Like, even if you're not a space nerd, like, it's absolutely nuts to see these things in real life. I think there's actually going to be a SpaceX launch on Friday. We're going to miss it because we're going to be heading to Tampa. But that would be something else to see, a launch as well. But yeah, we'll put in a few snippets, wee rovers and spacesuits and things, and catch up with you in a bit. Oh, the wee cat buggy. Neep, neep.
I only just walking in the moon, man. You can drive the buggies and playing golf and that.
Spacesuit.
Overshoes.
Moon boots.
Overshoes.
Moon boots. Oh, and look how thingy that wee helmet was. That's sick.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The next presentation in the Lunar Theater will begin in 3 minutes. If you would like to join us, please proceed to the Lunar Theater about the Saturn V.
Here we have actually a piece of the moon. You can actually touch it. Wow. Touch the moon. You can touch the moon. It actually came from the moon. Touch it. You've touched the moon now. No, everybody can say they've touched the moon.
Radio communications break down. Messages to Eagle must be relayed through Mike Collins aboard the command module Columbia. Throughout the crucial final checks, contact with the Eagle keeps dropping out. And Flight Director Gene Kranz inches closer to aborting the mission. A problem with the onboard computer. The astronauts have rehearsed for thousands of possible malfunctions, but not this one. It had been considered too unlikely. Seconds seem like hours as everyone struggles to remember the meaning of a 1202 program alarm. The deadline to safely aboard is vanishing fast. 1202 means the Eagle's onboard computer is overloading. This means Houston is blind, unable to make navigation corrections or interpret the data coming from Eagle's computer. Armstrong and Aldrin are on their own. Mission Control decides they can go ahead. If the data link doesn't fail again. 90 seconds of fuel remaining. Now less than 200 feet, and the Eagle is too low to safely abort back into orbit. They call this part of the flight plan Dead Man's Curve. All that's left for Mission Control is to read off the fuel remaining in seconds. 60 seconds. The entire moon landing has come down to 2 men and 1 minute.
Forward. Bring feet down, 2.5. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Like that. Down 2.5. Forward.
A short time later, history is made again. It was a moment shared by an entire world. With these first steps, mankind stood on the highest ground, and we saw our planet as our home port in the endless ocean of space.
Loving life at the Space Centre. Loving life at the Space Centre. What's that? Is that another lunar sand? I know. I was that wrong in the capsule.
Well, she is. So that's us back with the bus there, so heading into Atlantis, isn't it? Maybe.
Gonna be an astronaut.
Well, that was Space Centre. It was my first taste of Floridian rain or not.
Hello! Yeah, it's starting to rain. Storms are brewing.
Got quite a few wee goodies at the store there. Maybe reduced things. No, a few wee bits and bobs and that, and there's a rocket garden there. But cracking day, Hannah. We just came out of a space shuttle simulator there. So we're a wee bit shaken about that. But aye, so journey up the road now, up the road, and then we'll catch you for some tea.
Catch you for dinner!
Don't know what that banging is, but there you go. That's the Stars and Stripes up there. Right, catch it. Right, so we've made it. We've got another 29 mile to go, but we've hit
There must have been an accident or something.
traffic.
Traffic.
No, that is, it's collisions ahead or something like that. So anyway, no moaning about it. So might as well just show you. We've got wee bits and bobs for the shop. We just got, what did we get? Wee patches. Eight quid you're paying for that. So we got got these reduced at the Columbia. Obviously they were down to about $4. We're getting Enterprise. And a patch. Fire that in the battle jacket. Oh, I've got a wee mug as well, but I don't think I'm going to open that. Show you it later. It's just a wee short glass thing. Anyway, somebody battering up the hard shoulder there. Anyway, that's where we are there.
Mile 24.5 marker.
I always think that looks like a gun. See that red? I know it's outlining the state, but at first glance it looks like a gun. You know what I mean, like the handle and the nozzle. But anyway, tired. Probably tired of my boring shop review thing. But aye, so that's what we got at the shops, and we're stuck in traffic. So
catch up with you in a bit.
Again. At least it's dry now. Doesn't look very thingy anyway. Right, so going to Kung Po. What is it? Kung Po?
Panda Express.
Is it? What am I saying getting that?
I don't, because it's Kung Po chicken you get there.
Oh, right. Well, we've got a Chinese thing.
Panda Express.
Panda Express. Let's go. See you there. Alright. Fan belt away on that? Don't know. There's quite a few in here. Shops and eateries and that. Food of China? I don't know. A snail spa.
Nail salon.
I think go in and get these done. And we get your 72 seasons nails.
Pizza.
Something like that. Civic there. That's Civic Sport. funky exhaust. I don't hold back the Yanks on motors, don't they? Right, so here's this place here. Kung Fu Pandas. Panda Express. Chinese kitchen. Right. Get you in there.
Smells good.
It does, doesn't it? Does smell quite good, to be fair. Right, we'll get you when we get a choice.
Orange chicken number 2 down, please.
Finally. Oh, I had to wait about 9 hours for the Beijing beef. Lee's Beijing beef, man. Went up and collared him. He's like, oh, it's coming, it's coming. That's us sorted now. So, when we'll go back up to the digs and get this out and can have a swatch at it.
So we are back in the room. Hello. This is our dinner. So Scott's got fried rice, spicy fried shrimp. He's got the Beijing beef, and we've got a wee tub of the Kung Pao chicken. And then I've got steamed rice, the orange chicken, honey sesame chicken, and I've got the beef, Beijing beef in a wee tub. So yeah, we're going to go and enjoy it. See you in a bit.